What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and first off, I got a question for you. Do you think that karma is real? And with everything that's unfolded with stimulus checks, packages, and we're hearing about all this coming back, and the way that politicians have handled all of this, and they have just kind of left the American people on the sidelines and just kind of neglected and forgot them, do you think that karma is going to be coming back to them? Well, you guys, wait till you see some of the headlines and what's coming out in the news that I've got to share with you today. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. You're not going to believe some of this, and this is going to be very eye-opening for some of the things that go on behind closed doors. This is your breaking news, stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, first off, you guys, take a look at this. Kyrsten Sinema received nearly $1 million from Wall Street while killing the tax hikes on investors. That's right. So, for those of you that think like people get paid off to agree to pass certain bills, man, you are absolutely right. This is just some of the corruption that takes place. I mean, when Kyrsten Sinema says that she's not going to be in voting for the Reconciliation Inflation Reduction Act, do you think that they pull her into a room and they say, Kyrsten, listen, it's going to do this and this and this to help out the American people, and it's going to help out our party. You should do it. Do you think that she responds and goes, well, now that you put it like that, I think I'll vote for that bill? Or do you think they pull her aside and the conversation kind of goes more like this? Kyrsten Sinema. This is fake prop money, by the way. But you guys, you can see here in this article, they're saying that a lot of the people that she helped by pulling that provision out of the bill to pass it, she got paid over $1 million in the past year. And now it's very likely she can expect to see more money coming on the way. Now, let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think that that is putting the cares and the needs of the American people first? Or do you think it's maybe putting the cares of herself first? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys, but that's not all. Take a look at this. Senator Joe Manchin. House Democrats, they plan to double-cross Senator Joe Manchin on his energy deal. What? Take a look, you guys. We sure as HE double hockey sticks don't owe him anything now. Well, what are they talking about? Well, just so happens that Senator Joe Manchin was also one of the holdouts that would not pass the Inflation Reduction Act. As you recall, he was the primary person that pulled out a ton of stimulus provisions that originally had calls for stimulus checks, monthly reoccurring, child tax credits, Social Security increases, free childcare, free college tuition. Well, take a look, you guys. We owe him nothing. Rashida Tlaib vows to vote down Joe Manchin's oil-friendly Inflation Reduction Act side deal. That is right, and we haven't heard a whole lot about this. Look at this. He and his fossil fuel donors already got far too much in the Inflation Reduction Act. Turns out, when they pulled Joe Manchin aside, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin in those negotiations, it wasn't just Joe Manchin. We need this. It's going to help out people in our party. Turns out, in order to get Joe Manchin on board, they also agreed to an additional side deal, another bill that was going to be coming here. And he said, I need this to pass. It's going to help out all of these different interests and things like that. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said, yes, okay, let's get you on board. Pass the Inflation Reduction Act, the reconciliation bill. Then we're going to do another bill to help you out with these other things, these other items. Well, other House Democrats, they've gotten word and they're saying, we're not supporting you on anything. And we're hearing they're saying, HE double hockey sticks. No, you guys. Now wait till you see this. Now these are just some of the things that are happening behind closed doors that we're not getting word of, that's happening as they pass through this legislation. And you can see they're making sure that they pocket some of the money for themselves. Now, in a previous video, I let you know about some of the stimulus checks that are coming out right now and some of the things that I've been discovering as I'm creating the relief roadmap, this comprehensive list of all the provisions available. And we're finding out that there's different ways that politicians are not sending the money to people, but they're figuring out ways to indirectly get money into their own pockets. And it's a shame. It's very sad. And you guys, I'm going to make sure to shed light on this and you will be able to see everything. I want to make sure that you know what's going on and you know about everything that's available to you right now. So as you guys know, www.reliefroadmap.com. I'm assembling the comprehensive list of every single stimulus check in the nation on every level. A lot of people only know or only think that there's the federal level stimulus checks, the first, the second, and the third, and they're waiting for a fourth of $2,000. And that is by no means the case whatsoever. There are state checks, city checks, county checks. There are literally hundreds of billions of dollars in surplus. For the federal government alone, there's over $800 billion of leftover stimulus package money that has been unused, untouched. And just to give you an idea of how much that is enough to send out a fourth federal level stimulus check of $2,800 to everybody in the nation. Everybody that got a third check, they could get a fourth check of $2,800. That is right. Now that's just on a federal level. There's also $300 billion alone in the state of California. Almost the state of California by itself could send out a fourth federal level stimulus check. That's how much money they have in excess. But they're not the only ones. We're hearing Texas has $27 billion in excess funds. Florida, Georgia, across the nation, there are states with tons of excess funds. And they're starting to send out stimulus checks, stimulus provisions, but a lot of people don't know about these programs and they're totally missing out. So you guys, I've got that comprehensive list for you. And today is August 22nd, the day that I want to have everything ready for you. Now, I'm working on the website right now. I'm testing a few things. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure if we're ready to launch, but if I can't get it out today, I'll shoot out an email and let you know that we're going to make sure that we get a date sometime this week. So it's just a lot of technical aspects, but you guys, I've got over 100 different stimulus checks for you guys. And also, we're hearing that tons of stuff is going to be coming back here on a federal level. Now, if you've been keeping up with the channel, you've seen child tax credits, stimulus checks, Social Security increases, wiping out student loan debt. All of these are coming back, and we're hearing by this month, we're going to start seeing executive actions and decisions rolling out here. And we're hearing that Democrats, they're on board for this because it is working. If you missed my last video, check it out. We're hearing stimulus is winning. All of this talk of a red wave coming because Biden's approval and Democrats' approval is falling, well, all they are doing is waiting to the last minute until these midterm elections, passing all of these things, and it is working. And we even heard from the leader of the Republicans, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in the Senate, who said, I think Democrats are going to win. Their plan is working just like they planned it. It's just unfolding where now they're passing all this stuff. His approval is starting to go up. And can you imagine if at the very last minute before midterm elections, they accessed that $800 billion of funds just sitting there, and the president repurposed it, reallocated it through executive action, executive order, sent it out to the American people? They're saying they believe that it will change the minds of millions of people across the nation, and they will vote to keep Democrats in power. And they're saying stimulus, it's working. It is going to win the November elections. Now, you guys, we will see. I will keep you up to date every step of the way. Now, I'm going to dive into these articles, get you caught up on the latest as to what has unfolded with the Inflation Reduction Act. What we're hearing is going to be happening here very soon. So we're going to dive right in. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, you appreciate the content, you appreciate the relief roadmap, everything that we do here with the RAM fam to keep you guys up to speed on everything going on, just do me one simple quick favor, and that is simply smash that like button. Helps out the channel a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on karma and what is going on behind the scenes with these politicians. Also, share this out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free, why not come join the RAM fam? All you got to do is very quickly hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, where you can learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And also, you guys, as I mentioned, if you haven't already signed up to get access to that comprehensive list of all checks, do so at www.reliefroadmap.com. Add your email. We have about 9,000 people that have joined that said they want access to everything available. Please do so right away. Gonna get that out here very soon. Might be today. Just got to work through a couple technical things with the website, but if not, you guys, it'll be this week. I will do an email blast to keep you up to date. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest. All right, you guys, so let's dive into a couple of these articles, get you caught up on the latest. They are linked in the description below if you'd like to read them for yourself. The first one says, House Democrats, they plan to double-cross Joe Manchin on energy deal. And what do you think about karma on this one? Take a look at this, you guys. House Democrats, they're warning Senator Joe Manchin that they won't honor the deal that he made with party leaders to secure his vote on President Biden's massive spending and tax law. They plan to break the promises that Mr. Biden and Congress and congressional Democratic leaders made with Senator Joe Manchin, a conservative West Virginia Democrat, to cut bureaucratic red tape to speed up the permitting process for energy projects of all forms. That promise secured the crucial support of Mr. Manchin's needs to pass the $773 billion law of the climate change, healthcare, and tax hikes. Now that Mr. Manchin held up his end of the deal, progressive Democrats in the House say that they owe him nothing because they were shut out of the deal-making process, and streamlining the energy projects would undercut their newly enacted climate law. We sure as HE double hockey sticks don't owe Mr. Manchin anything now, said Representative Rashida Tlaib from Michigan, and she told the left-leaning news outlet The American Prospect. Jared Huffman, California Democrat, leading climate advocate, told Politico that he refuses to be steamrolled into a bunch of fossil fuel giveaways just because Manchin cut a deal in a closed room with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Man, now in addition to that, we heard from AOC and several others that said originally, you'll recall last year in 2021, they had a tandem reconciliation bill. It was the infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better bill. They were trying to pass them both together. And they said, listen, we need to separate them, pass infrastructure now, then we'll pass Build Back Better. And they said that both sides agreed, we will pass it. Then after infrastructure went through right after that, Joe Manchin said, nope, can't pass Build Back Better because inflation is a major concern. And a lot of them felt like they got double-crossed by Joe Manchin. He backed out of his word, and now we're hearing it's actually turning around and coming back on him in this particular situation. And take a look at this, you guys. We owe him nothing. Rashida Tlaib vows to vote down Joe Manchin's oil-friendly IRA side deal. Listen to this, you guys. Link in the description below. With President Joe Biden set to sign the Inflation Reduction Act into law on Tuesday, progressive members of Congress are increasingly speaking out against a side agreement that Democratic leaders reached with Senator Joe Manchin in order to secure the final passage of the $740 billion climate tax and health care measure. The side deal, this focuses primarily on permitting changes that would help fast-track fossil fuel infrastructure, including the long-delayed pipeline in Manchin's home state of West Virginia, even as scientists say that meeting key emission reduction targets requires a swift end to all of the new oil and gas development. So this is pretty much almost going exactly against Biden's agenda and what he's trying to push for clean, new, green initiatives. Because its provisions are outside of the bounds of the budget reconciliation process, the permitting agreement must follow a legislative track separate from the Inflation Reduction Act, which the Senate passed on August 7th and the House gave final approval on Friday. The permitting legislation, a major boon to Manchin's fossil fuel donors, would need 60 votes to pass the Senate, requiring some Republican support as well as unanimous backing from Democratic caucus. While progressives in the Senate and House voted for the Inflation Reduction Act despite concerns about the bill's handouts to fossil fuel industries, they quickly made it clear that they don't feel bound to support the permitting proposal, which climate groups warn would gut crucial laws such as NEPA and shield dirty energy projects from legal challenges. Now, in a statement, The American Prospect on Tuesday, Representative Rashida Tlaib said, handshake deals made by others in closed rooms did not dictate how I vote, and we sure as HE double hockey sticks don't owe Joe Manchin anything now. He and his fossil fuel donors already got far too much out of the Inflation Reduction Act. My yes vote today is not quiet acceptance of Manchin's poison pills, she said. We will be united in defeating the separate Manchin permitting reforms that will accelerate climate change and pollute black, brown, indigenous, and low-income communities. Now that the Inflation Reduction Act has passed, there is absolutely zero reason that Congress should follow through on a backdoor handshake deal that directly undermines the purpose of the Inflation Reduction Act. Manchin went back on his word to get Build Back Better done, as you recall, as we mentioned this from last year, and we owe him absolutely nothing. Wow, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you believe in karma? Is it coming back at Joe Manchin. And take a look at this, you guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. Kyrsten Sinema received $1 million from Wall Street while killing tax hikes on investors. Now, this just came out last week, and it says Kyrsten Sinema, the Arizona Democrat who single-handedly thwarted her party's longtime goal of raising taxes on wealthy investors, received nearly $1 million over the past year from private equity professionals, hedge fund managers, and venture capitalists whose taxes would have increased under the plan, but she made sure to get rid of that provision. For years, Democrats have promised to raise taxes on such investors who pay a significantly lower rate on their earnings than ordinary workers. But just as they closed in on that goal last week, Kyrsten Sinema forced a series of changes to her party's $740 billion election spending package, eliminating a proposed carried interest tax increase on private equity's earnings while securing a $35 billion exemption that would spare much of the industry from a separate tax increase other huge corporations now have to pay. Now, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date every step of the way. But you guys, that is the latest. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash the like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, totally free. Why not come join the Ram fam? All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And again, if you haven't already, add your email to www.reliefroadmap.com. Get added to the wait list. Hopefully going to have that out for you guys today, but if not, I will let you know. We're going to definitely have it ready this week, just working through some technical things with the website. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.